Okay, yeah, definitely live. All right,
Okay,
Gunner's Wife, we're on episode 2. We are live on time. We'll wait
here
for
we
some
are.
viewers to show up, and then we will be ready to rock and roll. Looks like we are connected with an excellent connection. Just need to get some confirmation from people in the chat that we are live, and we will start. So, how you doing today, Gunner's Wife?
Okay, I think I'm still trying to find that screen. Let me see.
Hello, Raphael. Welcome to the chat. We are officially verified live, Gunner's Wife.
Hello, Robert W. from Texas. Texas is always first out of the gate.
And Melly B from Massachusetts, Anonymous Patriot,
Massachusetts.
says hello. Hey, everybody. Costumes for all occasions. Raphael, he has responded to you. Hey, Gunner's Wife, do you have all of your text set up and screens the way you want them?
It's actually like Groundhog's Day where I'm having the exact same thing that happened last time. So if you can help me out, then that would be great. And then I'll go to the chats. Crazy Canuck Girl. Hi from Ontario, Canada. Oh, I forgot to check what time it was in Canada when we went live. That's not even one that I looked at. I think we looked at UK though. It's like definitely the middle of the night in the UK. It's like 2 a.m. Someone told me last week they were going to set the alarm for 2 a.m. for the show. Uh, oh my gosh, it's going so fast. Rhonda Griffin from California. Hello from the Philippines. Carl Vance. Oh, Carl Vance, I recognize you from every single show. Thank you for being here. Pennsylvania. We love Pennsylvania. Oh, okay. ID 10T had to fix some stuff. Guys, we have such a great show, and we are going to cap it at an hour today. So it's going to move along steadily. Hopefully, won't be too much lingering and chit chatty stuff outside of what is based in the show, but we're going to definitely still keep you very much involved because we learned so much from you guys. Thank you for being here. Another Pennsylvania. Mary, hello from Florida. Oh, Mary, you're so lucky you live in Florida. That's great.
Big shout out to Mary with a 1999 super chat. Thank you so much, Mary.
Already? Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Mary.
Okay, couple housekeeping things. We've changed the comments to subscribers only, so you should notice that difference. We've also pulled, I think Gunner's Wife told you, the live chat off the screen because people are putting some stuff there and it was getting weird. So we've got a great show for you set up today. Got a few topics we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the Supreme Court leak, Roe v. Wade. We're going to talk about eclipses. We're going to talk about some stuff about the moon, moons of Mars. I think we've got a teaser of the funeral. So let's lead out with last episode, Gunner's Wife. You talked about the 5x5 meme that you got. You want to talk about that a little bit, and we can show that.
So, yeah, a lot of you guys ask me all the time about our favorite mobile messenger. And apparently, he's kind of one of those kind of taboo topics that cannot be discussed for some reason without getting the Eye of Mordor. So, I'll just tell you that he's around. And from time to time, he'll drop a little message here and there. So I received this meme from him, and then I realized what it really was, and it was very reassuring because as we'll see tonight when we go over some of these clips, we're going to see that even though a lot of people are behind the scenes, which I used to be behind the scenes too, we're going to start seeing more and more of a return in the spotlight of a lot of people. This particular meme was on Easter, and it's just a reminder that he's got the whole world in his hands, referring to Jesus, and it was a good it was a good message to receive. 5-5. It's another meaning of 5-5. I'm sure it has a lot of meanings.
Okay, thanks for that. I've got someone in the chat saying no audio, no volume. I need verification that we have audio. I think we do. But if you can hear the gunner's wife, let me know what her volume is. Is it good? And if you can hear background music, let me know also. We're trying to get our sounds optimized here. No, we're good. The volume is good, says Joker. Yep,
Did
everybody
you
can
guys
hear.
hear anything I said? That would be terrible.
They're all saying it's good. Okay. So
Okay.
we had some initial reporting that audio was bad, but it sounds like we are good to go now. Fantastic. Okay, yeah.
You are both 5-5, says Kia. Kia's hilarious. I love you, Kia. You're great. Thank you for being here. You always
Okay.
make me smile.
No music though. We're gonna adjust that background music.
Oh, they like the music.
Some people
That's
do. We got to get
some
it
people
just right.
do.
Oh, Raphael says Gunner's wife is so cute.
Cute. Okay.
All right. Eva Reyes says, hi, Gunner's wife. I'm just going to read through a few comments and then we're going to make a transition over to our next topic. Oh, great grandma's from California. Hey, thank you so much, Kathleen Beach, with the $9.99 super chat with a dancing
Kitsune.
Dancing kitsune. That is very cool. Thank you very much,
That
Kathleen.
is so cute. Talk about cute. I love animation.
Okay, so what we recently had come out in the news, and it's reported by many sources, is that the Supreme Court was doing an opinion on Roe v. Wade, and it was apparently linked. So I'm going to run this clip compiled from a couple news sources, and we'll talk about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, an unprecedented leak at the Supreme Court sending Democrats and Republicans into a
clip
frenzy,
of Ketanji
but for different
coming.
reasons.
She's
Chief Justice John Roberts confirming the authenticity of a
swamp
draft opinion
creature.
that would overturn Roe versus Wade, while pointing out that the Supreme Court has not made a final decision. Roberts ripping the leak as an egregious breach of trust and is ordering an investigation.
What is shocking is that it emerged months before we expected the court to publish its decision, and it emerged through a leak, which is something extraordinarily rare from the Supreme Court.
So apparently, a Roe versus Wade opinion was being done, which was going to overturn it, essentially. And then that was leaked. Coincidentally, not too long after we had a new Supreme Court justice appointed to the Supreme Court. What do you think about that, Gunner's wife?
Well, if you can loop the footage of Ketanji, we're going to get to that. Because, well, I don't know that it was necessarily a decision that was final. So I think all that I've gathered, and I've completely unplugged from MSM. I can't stand watching it, but from my understanding is it was just a drafted letter or something. So nothing was finalized. I think that whoever leaked it was trying to get ahead so that, the intimidation machine could get churned up and turned on and people could start getting harassed and, fearing that if they make a decision that, mobs don't agree with, they're going to get attacked or whatever. So I think that was, maybe one of the reasons for a leak. It is quite coincidental that as soon as this person, Jackson or whatever, as soon as she gets confirmed, that suddenly we have a leak, which has never happened before. And it's specifically on a topic that I recommend highly to go back and watch her questioning from Marsha Blackburn. Marsha grills her pretty good, and it's very insightful and telling about where Jackson stands and her feelings about pro-life people and stuff like that. So it's interesting news. my opinion on it. I don't know all the ins and outs per se beyond that, but I will tell you the ins and outs that I do know is that she has the snake slits.
All right, we'll take a look at the chat here. It says, Raphael says Democrats want to increase the Supreme Court justices. Uh-oh. We've got a question from TL Oris Chandler. Did something bad happen to Trump Jr.? Did you hear anything about that?
I did not.
Neither did I. If anybody knows anything about that, throw it down there in the chat.
I know something bad had happened to Clarence Thomas, and I know that it was almost a repeat of what had happened at the SOTU, but I can't really get into that here right now, but I'll have more on that. I think I'm going to do a little bit more on Ketanji for next week. Let's see how this goes because it is kind of a sensitive topic. So I'm just going to kind of glide through it and show you that she's basically a lizard, and then we'll, I'll think about all the other controversial stuff, whether or not we can really go into it.
Well, a big shout out to Amanda Holohan, who says this is her favorite podcast.
Yay! Thank you, Amanda.
Well, that means that you have at least one person who thinks you're a favorite podcaster. Congratulations, Gunner's Wife. You're now officially a podcaster.
Thank you so much.
So Felipe Bourbon's opinion is this is an attempt to consolidate a fracturing Democratic Party on an issue that has previously mobilized voter turnout. And the craziest thing is I actually heard that the lady who used Roe as her pseudonym actually recanted all of her testimony, said she was lying, repented, and turned to Jesus, is now saved. Did you hear about that?
Somewhat, but I mean, the horse is out of the barn on that, so thanks, but bye. Well, anyway, so we can look at that clip if you want for Ketanji.
Are you talking about the link that you sent me right before the show?
I am.
Yeah, so I did not download that video, so you're going to have to give me a few minutes to prepare that, because I didn't know we were showing that clip. I had no idea that you wanted me to show that. But just give me a couple minutes and I'll get that tuned up. So why don't you respond to a few chat questions while I work on that?
Okay. No problem. Let's see. Yeah. The old skull and bones. Yeah. I definitely have to self-edit on a lot of things. I don't know if you guys can tell by how coded the proofs get. Phil H says you're fired, ID10T. Now,
again, I'm fired.
Okay, let me go back to defend ID10T again. He needs me to defend him. Without him, there would be no show. So you guys are just going to have to bite the bullet on this. I think, this should please all the deep fake and clone fanatics. So here we have ID10T. Here's one. And, maybe it'll please all the bot purchasing, haters that love to watch my show for some reason. Here's a bot. He's called ID10T. We're trying to please everyone, even the enemy. So we got ID10T. Give him some love.
Oh, well, thank you, Gunner's Wife. I appreciate that. I'm trying my best. So I have the video, and I'm going to put it up, and we're going to see if it looks good, and then we can we'll run as much of it as you want, and we can talk about that.
Yeah, I think it's only a minute and a half.
It's 6 minutes, so we'll have to figure that out.
No. It's called Ketanji 1. It's the one that I dropped in the folder this morning.
Let me double check that. I think that might be a video that I was not aware of. So just bear with me, folks. We can go back over.
Yeah. We're not running a 6 minute. Yeek. Although I do have one. I have Trump's eclipse coming up on the balcony. There's some very interesting conversations that I have lip read for you, and it's sort of a proof within this show. It's kind of long, but we're gonna talk about that. There's lots of juicy stuff to talk about with that eclipse balcony footage. Bringing it here today.
Okay, we've got the clip, Gunner's wife. I think we've got our technical problems sorted out. Hopefully
Maybe.
I'm not totally fired yet. We'll see.
Phil H, I think, fired you, but luckily
You rehired me? All right,
luckily
there we
I'll keep
go.
you.
This is the video.
Here she is.
Yeah, let's start over here and we'll run the
Yeah.
audio.
Kind of love. And nobody's taken this away from me.
So
you
she's
got 5
crying,
more folk
whatever,
to go
whatever.
through. 5 more of us. And then you can sit back and let us have all the debates. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a well-charted Senate floor because it's not going to stop.
As a body language, oh, let me move out of the way just a tiny bit. So you can see, ID10T, can you go full screen for a second on this particular video?
You're going to have to give me a minute to set that up. I was not
Oh, that's
prepared
okay.
to do that.
They can see it.
They're going to
It's
accuse
fine.
you of this and that. Heck, in honor of
So
your
you'll see
person who shares your birthday, you might be called communist.
There's my finger. Okay. I'm trying to guide it. Oh, it cut off on the green screen. Right there, you can see the slit in her eye. And you can see it up there. Now, it happens pretty quick. It kind of reminds me of that video I did of Momzilla, where it just, you know, I've actually seen it on Barry also, which he's very tricky to catch because it's a very quick slip that happens. But she has it. I've seen it quite a lot on her actually, and her crying session was quite there's more that she's crying about as a body language analysis, I would say, for her. When she's crying during all of that questioning, she's not crying about the question the guy is asking her or whoever's asking her. She's crying because she's got so much bottled up, and there's something that's disturbing her to the point where she's like, it's really this inappropriate type of emotional outburst that goes on way too long, and it's very strange. Anyway, but like I said, I highly recommend that you go back and watch the Marsha Blackburn and Jackson exchange because they talk about the pro-life and all that. And this is only 2 weeks before something happened with Clarence Thomas, and then now you've got the leak. I mean, these are like coincidental, right? Coincidences. You wish it was a clearer picture of the eye slit. Well, it's down on the corner. I put the still. Definitely a lizard, Diane Kerr. Hello, Diane.
So Andrea Murray has a question. First of all, Gunner's wife, thank you so much for sharing that with us. We may be able to get that clip uploaded later as a short if you guys want to look at it. But Andrea Murray wants to know, is this your first live stream? I found your channel a couple years ago. I was shocked to come across this live. Very cool. Well, Andrea, this is Gunner's wife's third live stream, her second official episode. And what we need to do is we get a lot of people saying that. We need to share it out. You need to tell your friends. Make sure that you've liked the video and you're subscribed to help boost her algorithm and get more people here watching. Gunner's wife, we are sitting at 280 people here in your chat, and that is fantastic at 20 minutes into your live stream. But we need to get the word out, folks.
Yeah, I'm just reading the chats here.
Yeah, no worries.
Let's see. Sarah Jane. Hi, Sarah Jane. Aloha. Don't forget to hit the like button, says Reynaldo Fields. And we are going to
make a transition.
Sorry, guys. I'm having to kind of moderate a little bit also because we've got the clowns. That's kind of the problem of having excuse me, having the announcement is all the clowns get ready to pounce, and they're just, you know, kind of losers, but try to get a laugh out of them, but they're relentless little swamp things.
Great. DG, it shows 292. Let's see if we can get over 300.
Yeah, someone had said that there was a rally or something today at the same time, but we're not scheduling the show to try to compete or do anything like that. It's just this was kind of the best time slot. So that's what we're doing. And we actually do have a lot to cover, and it is only going to be an hour, so you'll be able to get back to your day. But thank you so much for hanging out. We're having a blast doing these.
Well, that's a great point. We will move it along, but before we do, big shout out to Phil H with the $5.05 super chat. He does want to ask the question, is there a place you do not censor, excuse me. Where is the place where you don't censor?
So I don't know that I would necessarily not do that in general based on some of the topics, especially related to because I know like a lot of people like me, right? I have a family, I have children. They they'll watch a video or whatever that I post. So in that way, I'm always considering what they're seeing. So I always am trying to see from a child's mind of how I'm placing things anyway. And I don't think that I would ever really change that, or that there would be a place where I would like start getting crude and rude and saying all kinds of stuff. I think that a lot of things when you're talking about intuition and hidden messages and double meanings, you really do have to kick in a lot of your mind's eye anyway, because there's so much unseen that no one's ever going to come out and just say it. So you really have to pick it up in so many different ways. And then what I do is I try to show you those different ways of what's really going on, the unseen. So it's kind of one of those things where we're always in this like gray zone between the obvious and then the hidden, and we're always kind of riding that to expose both.
All right. Looks like Phil H sent a second super chat asking the same question. Thanks for that second super chat, Phil. We're going to move forward. So the gunner's wife gave me a little bit of a homework assignment. She was doing some research and she said, hey, ID10T, what the heck is going on the moon or the Mars or the moons of Mars? What's up there? So I went out and I did some research. I'm going to show you a clip.
ID10T.
Yes.
I think before we get to that clip, we should do the lip read because it's quite long, and then it'll be a good setup into talking about
yeah, no problem.
All the space stuff.
We'll run over to the Eclipse lip read.
The Eclipse one, because this is the balcony lip read, and it'll kind of warm us up for discussions of space and the moon and Mars and stuff. And then we'll get into definitely want to see your clip, because I think that that's just like the natural progression of the information.
No problem, Gunner's wife. Any way you want it, we'll do it. So we'll get this video up. Everybody buckle in. I believe this is a world exclusive.
It is.
All right, here we go. We're going to get it rolling.
2017 total eclipse where Trump looked straight up into the sky without his glasses on. I'm going to decode this event for you. There's some very interesting characters on the balcony, and then it's also very interesting what is discussed during the eclipse. Let's have a look. So this balcony scene that we're going to watch takes place at the White House on August 21st, 2017. On the balcony, we see Trump with some of his associates and family, and then below is all the press and media.
Jeff Sessions is up there. Melania, Barron. Wilbur Ross, Trump. Very affectionate toward Wilbur.
Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications on further elaboration of Trump's historical relationships with people like Wilbur Ross. I mean, not our cousins that need our help. The reptilians are going to be annihilated. Why don't you tell your dirt on Clinton? We already know what you've done. Taking pictures using Google's on satellite. Google will apologize, sir. I'm not apologizing to Clinton. She's not a nice dragon. Do you have your glasses? Yeah, I have them. There's a lot of fake news about Nancy Pelosi and all her impeachment effort. She hopes I don't know much yet. Well, we have to beat it, so... Watch this, darling. You'll do good. Huh? Glad you're here. Exactly. You're to blame. Oh, no, there'll be time.
We're in a space race today, just as we were in the 1960s.
I'll ask her for it.
And the stakes are even higher.
Space. Gonna be a lot of things happening in space.
I've got it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cousins of man.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It's not too certain. Yeah, right. Will they know it? Well, they asked about that. Actually, it's one of my best friends. Your friend from MUFON? Harvard, actually. Oh, I see. He's getting to land on Mars. You're not on Mars yet? Not yet. Soon we meet our friends. Has China proven it? Get that. No. But I have seen the evidence of Mars. Yep. Except for Huawei. Don't talk like China's stars. Oh. It's mainly because it's not China's moon anymore. I'll try to fix her. Yeah. Nobody should mess with the moon and the stars. They'll thank me once I stop the UN. Oh. Throws the power off. Eclipse? Oh, pardon. Glasses. Ah. It's beautiful. Look with the glasses on. I already got them on. I meant on Baron. Oh. If something's going to happen, how soon could we move there? About then. Definitely don't want to panic anyone. How long do we have before the main course? A few minutes. It's over. We're gonna go. You should be wearing the glasses. Okay, let's go. Let's feed you, huh? Your friends are pulling in. Let's get in. I decided I'll just ignore them, but I'll probably need to make a statement before we head in. You might be able to get it into its place. Okay, I'll look into that promptly. Hopefully. I think you could put your handprint if you wanted to do that. But not us, but they'll be dust. But if there's a mass exodus, we simply go. I know. But let's say you can retilt it, then it all aligns. They'll all be eating our dust. Tell Bob we're gonna win. Oh yeah.
Space. Gonna be a lot of things happening in space. Because space is the world's newest warfighting domain. Amid grave threats to our national security.
As the president said in his inaugural address, we stand at the birth of a new millennium, ready to unlock the mysteries of space. And that's exactly what we're doing.
To free the earth from the miseries of disease and to harness the energies, industries, and technologies of tomorrow. A new national pride will stir our souls, lift our sights, and heal our divisions.
He already told me get used to it. So I told Jared just don't do anything until next June. See ya.
One small step for man. One giant leap for mankind.
Can't believe I remember the 2017 total eclipse.
Okay.
Wow, that is incredible, Gunner's wife. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I worked super hard on that this week, you guys. There's a reason that animators stay behind the scenes because I'm like an all-night creature doing these proofs. But here we are because I want to discuss it with you right out of the gate. It goes pretty fast, so you might want to go back and once we post this, rewatch it. But I thought it was super crazy that Melania says men are our cousins and we have to help them. Now, who's she talking about? Her? Who? And then, I like to look at all the different angles and feeds and stuff because that's how we found Trump's time warp glitch, is because I was like, wow, this happens on every single feed. But every single feed has a little bit different clips and stuff, and I did pick up the craziest stuff. Something about humans' destiny is the universe. Okay. Something I'm finally willing to say because I saw it with my own eyes and ears is the Pleiades thing. I don't know what's going on with that. Something, guys, what's going on? So I know a lot of you guys are like all about this stuff, like the star seeds and all this stuff. But men's cousins. That's crazy.
Well, you heard it here first. Let's take a look at the chat. Chat, let us know what you thought about Gunner's wife's Eclipse lip read and video. Robert Scale says, good work. That was huge catching that TGW. It's wowzer, says Kia. Earth going to the stars, says Joe D. Otherworldly, love it. Lone Wolf says Pleiadians are hot. All right.
So, I mean, okay, so cousins. Now you can go back. The only thing, because I used to try to look at Melania because she is just fascinating to not only behold, she's so beautiful, right? Very striking. But her ears are very different. Now, I know everybody has different shaped ears and stuff, but hers are super unique and she covers them. You'll be hard pressed to find images of her ears. I found a couple before and I just, there was something about her ears. I was like, I've never seen ears like that. But to be a cousin of man and to be talking about, traveling in space, and to be talking, like, now we've discovered the serpents among us and the eye slits and the Hillary clip from my Epstein Island's a trap. And from last week's episode, I showed it, but we're not dealing with just human beings. Although what really are we? Like, who's here? Who else is here besides the serpents and our cousins? Well, yeah, the gray reptilians. I'm still convinced that they are an AI conscious clone thing that are not replicating in natural means because they do not have the junk to do it.
So we had a comment from Pam R saying the Pleiades are the seven sisters star systems. Read Revelation 1:20. It's interesting.
I will do that, Pam. Was that Pam? That's very good information.
Yeah, it was Pam.
The other thing I noticed is that there seems to actually be a problem with the angle or tilt of our moon, that it, from what I gathered when Trump does the and then Barron's talking about calculating, lining things up, there's something blocking our massive energy flow from the universe or the stars that we could be harnessing, and that moon is, I think it's the moon, or it's maybe another planetary alignment, is kind of throwing off our ability to tap an energy. And I think that they're worried about a retilt or something that could go very bad if they don't do it right. But something's blocking the earth and humanity from being able to receive what rightfully we should be a part of. That's what I gather from those little clips.
Sarah Jane brings up an interesting point. She says Hawaii also believes they come from Pleiades, and I think the Aborigines down in Australia as well. She is not sure, though.
Yeah, I've heard that. And something about, isn't it Native American? Because they passed down the stories of their ancestors through, all their word of mouth lore, and that they also, it's not even a question. Like, they know that we're from the stars. Nobody's questioning that because they're not being fed false history.
Well, there's a lot of people who have some interesting comments about the moon being inhabited, being a space station. So I think we're going to get more into our moon, but has anybody ever seen the monoliths on the moon of Mars? Is everybody aware that Mars has two moons named Phobos and Deimos? And those two moons are named after fear and hate, actually. But I've got a clip, a homework assignment from the Gunner's Wife I'm going to roll, and then we can talk about that, if you're good with that, Gunner's Wife.
I am.
All right. Now, everybody, this is Buzz Aldrin. We all know who Buzz Aldrin, right? But if you're not, he's a famous astronaut from NASA, United States, who's the first man on the moon. Or one of the two. Can't remember.
It's a monolith. They're a very unusual structure on this little potato-shaped object that goes around Mars once in 7 hours.
And that is the moon itself. And that's the monolith on it. Now,
when people find out about that, they're going to say, who put that there? Who put that there? Well, the universe put it there. If you choose, God put it there.
There's Mars, and Mars itself also has its own separate monolith right there. And I'm going to pause the video really quick. I'm not an expert. I'm just a robot. But that doesn't look like that's a naturally occurring monolith on Mars.
No, I mean, we had Trump saying that one of his buddies from Harvard was scheduled to be landing on Mars back in 2017. Like, they're not coming out and interviewing the guy and saying, "Hey, are you headed to Mars?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll be there in July or whatever." Like, what is going on? How come we don't get told? Like, we know that Hillary, when she shapeshifts, that it's already been classified as top secretive. Like, and if you watch, speaking of George Bush, because we're gonna hit on that funeral. If you watch George Bush's old CIA footage and all this stuff, that Swamp Thing was talking about keeping everything secretive, and that his loyalties, even when he ascended to the presidency, his loyalties were always to the intelligence groups. He made sure, he said it was his life mission to make sure that certain things never see the light of day, like the serpent lizards, because he's one.
So it's an interesting point you bring up about things being secret. So obviously we've got NASA, and NASA puts out all this information for everybody that's supposedly not secret. It's impossible for me to believe that we are not conducting activities in space that are classified and that are kept secret from all of us. I just can't believe that that's true.
Yeah, I mean, even like Wilbur Ross is a very interesting person. I've been working on a side proof, delving into the history of Trump and Wilbur Ross. But Wilbur Ross is on the Space Council, or was on the Space Council for Trump. And I mean, they're openly talking about bioprinters and how they can print repairs for hearts for whoever's going out into space, and that people are going to live on the moon. And then it really reminded me of our mobile messenger, how I think it's the 2 times that we massively saw his family, or like him with Kay, was Youngstown, where everyone's young. I mean, you have to think about the double meanings of where he's deciding to show. And then Moon Township. So Youngstown and Moon Township. Is that a message that there are places beyond Earth that we're able to, are they ships? Are they towns? Is there on the moon? Is it forever young? So what are the things, that all that could possibly mean? If people are out, like Buzz Aldrin, like the clip you just showed, ID10T, where he's saying who put those there, oh, the universe, wink wink, like he doesn't know. It's just all this stuff that they can't talk about. But the artificial potatoes, or is the moon artificial? Why doesn't it spin? Why is it only facing one way? Why is it blocking our direct intake of energy signal? Like, we know the grays, we know the lizards, we know now that Melania's our cousin. What's really going on? We're not being told.
Yeah, so there's a lot of really interesting points in the chat. So the moon is just a reflection in the firmament. That's interesting. The firmament being that space between Earth and heaven, I think, according to Genesis.
Yes, we've been reading the book of Genesis I've been reading that with my husband and my children. My husband has taken the leadership in our family to be a spiritual leader and read the Bible, and we are getting through Genesis right now, and it does mention the firmament. It's very, very interesting. Very interesting.
Okay, well, we're going to make a transition, but I would like to point out to you, Gunner's Wife, you have over 500 people in the chat. Congratulations.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here.
And I'd like to give you a big shout out and an early happy Mother's Day, Gunner's Wife.
Thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
So last week, we talked about the funeral. We kind of teased Jeb Bush and the funeral a little bit. And I think that you have a clip prepared for us. Do you want to talk about that all, Gunner's Wife?
I do. So we have 10 minutes, 11 minutes left on the clock. So guys, let's switch gears. Speaking of Bush, let's talk about just particularly the clip where Laura Bush shows Jeb that note, and Jeb's, face drops and he kind of looks around. But, part of, I think simultaneously his hand dropped, but so did everyone else around him. If you go back to that clip, it's just the coffin had passed, so that everyone's hand comes off the heart. So I don't think that was, I think it coincidentally lended to the drama of his body language, but I think the body language for him was all in his face, not so much the arm drop. But when she shows him, I don't know if a fake note was going around where it said, it was addressed to Jeb, but I can tell you that letter was not, I don't think that letter was to Jeb. I think that letter was to Laura Bush. And I'm going to show you why. Because a lot of people thought it was for Jeb, and you would naturally think that. I think it was for Laura. So you can roll the clip, ID 10T, and we'll watch and listen.
All right, before we do that, thank you, Andrea Murray, with your $5 super chat. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you. All right, we're going to roll the video.
Let's watch a quick prelude of footage I've compiled from the Bush funeral. Can't wait till you see the note. It's something that came from me. Whatever, Orange Man. Just kidding. I made that part up. But you can imagine how nasty Laura Bush is toward Trump. I'm the Gunner's Wife. Be sure to subscribe and hit like and stay tuned. Now,
you can roll that again, please, ID 10T.
Yeah, it's rolling. I'll let the video
funeral.
or the audio back on.
Can't wait till you see the note. It's something that came from me. Whatever, Orange Man. Just kidding. I made that part up. But you can imagine how nasty Laura Bush is toward Trump. I'm the Gunner's Wife. Be sure to subscribe and hit like and stay tuned. Now let's watch a quick prelude of footage I've compiled from the Bush.
He says, I can't wait for you to see the note. It's something from me. So she sees it and she shows Jebby, and Jeb doesn't like what he sees. But I'll get more into the Bush notes. Like I said before, the fake notes were just so stupid and off the charts, like an insult to everyone's intelligence, how fake they were. that the fonts were pretending to be a typewriter, but one was bigger and then a different font below it, and something like, you know, they have at all or something stupid. It's like, why would you put in, that's not even noteworthy. So it's just so dumb how everybody fell for that. So guys, come on. Like, were those real people that fell for that? If they're, I think it was all bots and just a big shill NSA disinfo drive, because there's no way anybody's so dumb that they fell for that. So we're going to get into what really was in the notes, and it's actually interesting. I'm sorry. Sometimes I know stuff that I'm not telling, so trust me, you're going to want to stay tuned. Hit the subscribe, and just wait. We'll drop little clips like this. Now I want to go back to one of the comments. It passed a long time ago, but they said, are the good guys gonna do something? Guys, I think it's gonna happen so freaking quick that these serpents, they're going to be freaking like it's gonna happen. The serpents have to be discovered, because you know there's humans, there's our cousins, there's serpents like demons. So that's another distinction I want to make, is that the actual green lizard thing, that's like a demon. But I think the gray reptilians are an AI extension of that is just such a lockhold on the planet with technology. They're up there and emitting frequency and stuff, but this is all still run by evil demons. And the serpents are that, and it talks about the serpents in the book of Genesis. So they're definitely here. The good guys have to basically expose who these things are, and then they're going to eat our dust, like Barron says, and that they're going to be, I think Melania says, the lizards will be annihilated. We have to help the humans. So it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen very fast, and there's a lot that we're not being told. We already know that, but I'm going to try to show you guys all these behind the scenes that I'm finding.
Well, thanks for sharing with that with us, Gunner's Wife, and addressing that comment. So, folks who are here, we have 7 minutes to take questions from you. So please, any question you have for the Gunner's Wife, or anything you think you'd like to hear about in the future, just throw it in the chat, and we'll pick a few top comments and we'll address those.
I'm noticing Sadie Lamp Duo is saying 2,000 mules. It's Dinesh D'Souza is doing really good work, and obviously he's picked the favor of, you know, the our side, but he and he was targeted heavily by Barry. He that documentary that he does uses a lot of, would you say it's satellite footage? I haven't gotten to watch it yet, but there's a lot of street level footage, so like city cameras. But is there satellite footage and tracking going on? Because Trump does say, or Melania says, they're using Google's satellites images. So while Google thinks they're spying, the hackers are getting hacked, because you're not going to run a spy op on the people of the planet without the governments like military or NSA knowing that you're doing that and using your own spy images to also spy also. So you can't just spy on your enemy. It goes both ways. So I think that the Google satellites are very interesting. How freaking accurate are they? And then what are we picking up on there? Are we able to see through the earth? Are we able to see into buildings? Because we think about all the Epstein footage down in the basement tunnels and stuff. Like, we know that there were cameras set up there, but is some of this stuff satellites? Like, you've got to wonder. So the 2,000 Mules documentary is very interesting, because the footage that they're capturing and the maps and the lines that they're running, it reminds me of like a excuse me, a military satellite type tracing and tracking. And we know that Trump and Melania like to hack the hackers, right? So sorry, it goes both ways. You can't be evil and think that you're not trapping yourself.
Thank you for that insight, Gunner's wife. Big shout out to Carol Davis, who subscribed to the channel live. Welcome, Carol, and thank you for your
Carol.
subscription. Okay, let's see. We'll take yeah, Ruby Ray says you will enjoy it. I just watched most of it. The military intelligence, 40 years, and a woman from Texas explains all the satellite and GPS following. So I think you're definitely on to something there. Say, can you lip sync all that you can find on the clowns talking? Yep. Well, she's working on that, I think, Aubrey.
Yeah, that's kind of the history of the proofs, is exposing the unseen. Some of it started getting into territories that the elites don't really like being talked about or exposed. So of course the big tech guard dogs kind of try to gatekeep information. So, you know, I'm having to always be very careful what we're selecting. But I think going back to some of the SO2 type material and the Bush funeral is a good idea. The Eclipse was good. You guys should go back and watch that if you have the time, because you can kind of replay and have a little bit of control of what, and understand and break down the conversations a little bit better. And I also wanted to ask you guys, did you like seeing the Bush funeral clip? Did you like the balcony? Because we're still in the mode of trying to discover how we're going to do the show. And I liked having the exchanges of having you guys involved, and then sort of guiding where we go and touching on things that we're revisiting or that we want to see in the future. So please put your input on what you'd like to see. I love to hear what are some of your favorite works, and then what's the questions that you have. You want me to take a look at certain bad actors, all that stuff. I see it. Please put it in the chat, and then we can have those discussions.
All right, Catherine Newsom's asking a lot of questions about who is the co-host. My name is ID10T, and I produce the show on the behalf of the Gunner's wife.
He's the help.
Okay, looks like we've got a poll out there. Do you like ID10T? 94% of people said yes, so 6% of you don't. That's fine. Okay, everybody. I think what we're going to do is we're going to start winding things down. We've got 2 minutes left. The Gunner's wife has been pretty adamant about keeping it to an hour. Everybody who showed up today, by the way, Gunner's wife, we're at 621 concurrent viewers. So that is just amazing. So happy for you and for you to have all of these people here in your chat.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for contributing to our conversation. And then when we post the video, you can go back and see what you missed. It's very sad for me to hear that people have been subscribed to me for 2 years and aren't getting notifications. It's not surprising, but that's the state of what we're up against. It's basically like the David and Goliath scenario, where I'm just a mom. Like, we're a military family. You know, I used to be, everyone in their 20s, you know, has their kind of liberal streak and all that. But after a while, you start to see that it's two sides of the same coin. There's a really good Grateful Dead song called Ashes, Ashes All Fall Down. And the lyrics in it are, pinstripe bosses, they roll the dice. Any way it rolls, you get to pay the price. And it's kind of like politicians throwing stones, and you know, we're on our own. Like, dude, it's at some point, you know, just to be a tiny voice and get crushed by big tech, it's like, holy moly, they found me. I can't believe it. I'm just a girl. Hi. Just trying to expose some stuff. And we're being blocked from even being able to communicate from you guys. You're not getting notifications. there's so much that is happening behind the scenes. I'm not going to bore you.
Okay, so we're going to wrap it up. A couple things, housekeeping. Stronger77 says, please give a shout out to Ireland. And yeah, big shout out to Ireland.
Big shout out to Ireland. I went there on my honeymoon. Love Ireland. Now, Ireland's got some really sinister stuff going on. You know, have a look at Hillary in Ireland. She was made like a trustee of one of the schools, and it's a total snake and ritual. You can find that clip recently. Ireland, be careful, man. But we love Ireland. So beautiful.
Okay, I just do want to make just a housekeeping announcement. While you're in the chat, obviously we're going to keep things respectful, but please no self-promoting or promoting other YouTube channels. That is considered bad form to do. And there, I'm sure, are other forums for you to promote your original channel. So on that note, we are going to wrap the stream up. I'm going to turn it over to the Gunner's Wife for the final word, and then I am going to cut the stream.
Okay, we're loving this new setup. Give us your feedback. Tell me what you want to know. Tell me who you want me to look at. Tell me what you want me to revisit. And then for all of my returning loyal collaborators in the discussion, thank you so much for coming and being here and just showing up. And thank you to everyone new who's here. Like, we want to see you. Let's all exchange the information and find out what's really going on until it's boom time.
Okay, I'm sorry, I know I told you I'd give you the final word, but we've just got two tips, one from Anonymous and another one from I'm not sure who. So for everybody that has tipped the Gunner's Wife, thank you. It helps her a lot with her work and her equipment and all of the effort that puts into everything. All right.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day to everybody. Happy Mother's Day to you, the Gunner's Wife. We are going to end the stream and have a great day, folks. Goodbye.
See you next time.